I spent a whole day oscillating between panic and faith the other day. Which one do you think won? Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the Baby Elephant community. On this channel we talk about spirituality, self-development, law of attraction, and so much more. Possibly also our alien friends who might be coming into contact with us sometime in the next month or near future, we'll see. So I'm working on something that feels pretty big to me, right? It kind of put my ego into fight or flight mode recently. And I began to feel really scared. When I was going through this thing the other day, oscillating between fear and faith, belief and doubt, this was actually really an important day for me because it really showed me what it feels like to live in fear and then in juxtaposition to what it feels like to live in faith. I want to talk about letting go and letting God, okay? I want to talk about asking for help. We don't ask for help nearly enough for some reason, and I'll talk about why that is in this video. Before we get started, however, I do want to give a big shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Skillshare. Whenever Skillshare sponsors one of my videos, you guys are always messaging me and reaching out saying how excited you were to find out about Skillshare. So if you're not familiar, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people who are interested in learning new skills or deepening existing passions. I use Skillshare all the time. I've used it to do journaling classes, interior design classes. It helped me to decorate my current apartment. I've used it to learn Procreate. I've done meditation challenges on Skillshare, and I've learned also about business, investing, and real estate. Right now, I'm taking a class from one of my favorite YouTubers, which is Nathaniel Drew. His course is called Creativity Unleashed. Discover, hone, and share your voice online. This is a perfect class for anyone who wants to start creating content or to improve their skill. It was really beneficial to me, even after 4 years of doing what I do. I love that Skillshare gets experts to teach us their craft through videos and class projects. And the best part about Skillshare is that it's less than $10 a month with their premium annual membership, and you get access to all the classes. And because Skillshare is sponsoring this video, my community can take advantage of their amazing offer. The first 1,000 people to click the link below in the description get a free trial to the premium membership so you can start to explore your creativity. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. Now back to the video and back to that day that I was going through. So when the fear led the way in that day, and I'll talk more about that, things seemed scary, big, and impossible. But whenever I brought that faith back in, whenever I remembered, oh right, I'm not alone, I have a team that can take care of this for me, I can literally surrender and give all of this up to God and let God handle it. When that came in, I realized how silly the fear was and how doable what I was doing is. I remembered how guided and how protected I was, and how those fearful thoughts were just egoic thoughts. It's the irrational ego, which is thinking, I need to survive. I need to make sure that we stay comfortable, because if we get out of our comfort zone, it could be dangerous. But these egoic thoughts aren't true. They're just thoughts. And that stemmed from the irrational ego, which has this primal need to survive irrationally. And you see, what I realized, when we spend a moment, a day, a week, or even a whole lifetime worrying in fear, what we're doing is we're praying. We're praying for the things that we don't want to happen. It's still faith. It's just faith in negative things happening, right? So you're still living your life through faith. It's just faith in the bad, faith in the challenges, faith in the, well, everything could go wrong, right? Worry, fear, racing thoughts, those are all prayers. But don't freak out. They're not going to ruin you. They're not the end of you. These thoughts mean a few things. First, that you're doing something that is forcing you to expand. Whenever we do something that forces us to expand, the ego automatically gets nervous because it wants to remain comfortable, right? It wants to remain safe. But if you're doing something that's forcing you to expand, then you're on the right track. Think about birth. We have these contractions and expansions, right? So the contraction is really painful, but it makes way for that expansion and makes way for new life. And so doing big things can be scary, but it brings in new life. It brings in joy. You just have to get through the contractions to experience the happiness on the other side, the life on the other side. So I truly believe that fear is usually an indication that we're on the right path, that we're doing something that is best for our expansion. So let's imagine for a moment a person, a woman or a man or whatever, that has had their heart broken pretty badly in the past. So they have this opportunity to start a new relationship. And of course, that fear from the past relationship comes in. So now this person has a choice. They have a place in their life where they can make a decision. Do I let fear lead, or do I let my heart, which is faith, right? Hope, belief, do I let that lead? Do I allow the fear from the past to stop me from potentially experiencing love, experiencing something that people want so much in this human experience? Or do I allow faith to allow me to experience love? So I realized that my worrying was praying for negative things to happen. And that's when I remembered that I'm not alone. I've never been alone. I'm not doing this alone. All I have to do is ask for help. That's it. You get on your knees and ask for help. Or you stand up and ask for help. You clasp your hands in prayer and you say, please, God, help me with this. God, or whoever it is that you speak to, right? I speak to God. I believe that the universe, our angels, everything. I speak to my ancestors all the time. I speak to my angels, my spirit guides, everything. But what's all encompassing for that, for me, my higher self, everything, is that God, source, divine energy. And I don't see God as a man. I see God as energy. And we have that spark. It's the creator. We have the spark of the creator within all of us. So I say, God, divine beloved, please help me with this. Please take this on. This seems really big and I can only do this with you. And when we give ourselves up in that way, it's kind of like the 12-step program. You know, I have people who have been addicts in my life and who have gone through addiction in the 12-step program. And a big part of the 12-step program is to just absolutely give over and surrender to God. Surrender to the divine and say, I can't do this on my own. I need help. Show me that you're with me. And when we get to that place of surrendering, and this could be a small thing like a test that you have coming up, or a relationship, or heartache, or you want this job, or there's a house that you're trying to get, or a car, whatever it is, or maybe some self-love, some self-respect, whatever it is, you can get that help from the divine by simply asking for it. And suddenly when I did that, I felt that I wasn't alone anymore. I stepped into faith. I fully believe. I chose to believe, because a lot of people ask me, how do I fully believe? It's your decision. You continuously decide again and again. Whenever those negative thoughts come and creep in, you continuously decide, I am protected. I am guided. Something bigger than me is taking care of this for me. And when thoughts arise that make you doubt that, remember that those are just thoughts. They're not true or false. It's you that makes them true or false with your energy. And so whenever a thought comes up that way, you decide, well, do I want to believe this thought? Do I want to feed this thought? It feels true. It feels real, because humans, humanity in general, this world in general, unfortunately, is negatively skewed. So it's easier to believe in the negative thoughts than it is in the positive thoughts. And that is why so much of humanity suffers, right? We suffer because it's easier for us to believe that suffering is the way of life. But if we can be that, small percentage of people who realize that it's all in our power, and that at any given moment we can say, oh, this thought is not what I want to be feeding. I release it, I acknowledge it, I let it go, and I'm actually going to choose a better feeling thought, and I'm going to believe that I'm protected and guided. That's how you build belief. How do I believe that it's happening? You just do. You just continue to choose faith. You continue to choose belief. And little by little, your life will reassemble to show you that that is the way that you are supposed to live. That is the way that you are supposed to behave and see life. And then I get some people who ask me, well, what if I make a mistake? What if I fail? And again, it's the same question. What if you don't? What if you succeed? Can you catch those thoughts? Can you catch yourself when you're having those thoughts and question them? When you have those negative limiting beliefs, those doubts come up, can you question them? Can you say, well, what if I succeed? What if this goes perfectly well? So I'm in the process of making a big life change. This is what I was talking about in the beginning of this video. And it's big. It's something that I've never done before. It's something that, you know, billions of people do all the time. But for me, it's really big. I'll talk to you guys about it when it's more thorough, when it's coming to fruition, right? And I had all these thoughts and I was just like, well, what if I fail? What if I lose? What if I this? What if that? It got to the point where I asked my mom, I was on the phone with her, I'm like, Ima, am I gonna die because of this? And she laughed so loudly because she's like, Lula, like, why would you die because of this? And when she said that, I was like, oh, right, my ego thinks it's dying right now because it's uncomfortable. Our thoughts, that's it. It's our thoughts that trip us up. But we have this divine benevolent energy that protects us and guides us no matter what. And what if you fail? There is no such thing as failure. 4 years ago, I was on my path, on the way to being an anchor woman, okay? Something got in the way, something really negative happened that completely diverted me off the path of becoming an anchor woman. If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be where I am today. Vastly more successful, vastly happier, vastly healthier. This company is known for all the workers, they keep getting sick because they're so stressed out. Vastly more fulfilled, doing what I'm actually passionate about. And none of that would have happened if I hadn't received that divine redirection. This was in 2017 and I will never remember. It felt like rejection. It felt like pain. It felt like, oh my God, everything I studied for amounted to nothing. And I was redirected to the life of my dreams because I had faith. Eventually I had faith. I knew everything even back then, 4 years ago, 5 years ago almost now. I think it's 5 years ago. I don't know exactly the year. All that time ago, I knew that everything happens for us and not to us. And that rejections, failures are always divine redirections. For the same reason, you know, a few years ago, I wanted to start a vegan supplement company. I wanted it for myself and I was like, well, you know, I have this idea and I still want to do that one day. I definitely will. I have this amazing idea. Let me create it. And I put all my life savings into it at that time. And it didn't work out. And it dragged on for a year, even though they told me I'd be done in a few months. And I remember that day when I got the bad news and I cried and I was so upset. But ultimately, I manifested getting out of it and I realized this isn't what I want to do anymore. It was what I wanted to do a year ago. Now a year and a few months has passed and I'm a different person. And none of this has worked. And all the time and all the money that I put into it hasn't worked. But I trust. I'm going to trust that this is another redirection. I ended up manifesting all of my money back. And I ended up manifesting Alchemy by LA. I left all my jewelry at my mom's house, so I'm not wearing any of it right now. But I channeled my actual company that I'm so passionate about, that I love so much, which is my jewelry line, which is so successful. People all around the world are wearing it and love it. And it has changed the lives of so many people. So that was another redirection. So all our failures are simply redirections, especially when you realize that you are always protected and always guided and never alone. One of my favorite books is The Seed of the Soul by Gary Zukov. And basically this is what he writes, that there are certain lessons that we must learn when we come into physical reality. And we can learn them in two ways. I've put up 10 fingers, I meant 2, okay? Because it's this and this. We can learn them with our 5-dimensional senses, or we can learn them as multi-dimensional beings. Now, as 5-dimensional senses, we use, our physical senses with which we interact with the world in order to learn lessons. Being a 5-dimensional being comes with a lot of challenges. We learn everything on a physical level. So our challenges are super physical. Our challenges are loss of people that we love, loss of, finances, loss of health, just loss. Or just a lot of frustration and difficulty in our lives. Or we could choose to be multidimensional beings, which is what we are, right? We've just never been taught. You may have never even heard about it until this very video. We are multidimensional beings with non-physical beings who help us in other dimensions that manifest into physicality, okay? So when we choose to be protected, guided, led, supported by our multidimensionality, we don't have to experience life on such a physical, challenging level. Life becomes a lot easier. The physical becomes a lot easier. So right now, I just want you to understand, to really let it sink in, that you are not alone and that you can allow God to take care of anything for you. And God is not limited by space or time or deadlines or anything that your human mind can think of. Because we see things, we see our situations, our challenges, we see them through the human eyes. But when we scope out of the human part of us, we are all-knowing, omnipotent, omniscient, right? And anything can happen. Anything can be made happen. That's what miracles are. That's what blessings are. That's what grace is. So allow grace into your life. Allow miracles into your life by understanding that you, the mind, your mind, is trying to do too much work that spirit is supposed to be doing on your behalf. Okay? And now know that spirit is going to lead you. It's going to guide you. So I received the idea for alchemy, right? But I had to make those calls and go to find a manufacturer and do this and do that. And everything worked out perfectly. And I was led from one place to another because it was divine guidance. But my physical body had to do things. So I wasn't going to lay on the couch and have my company built for me. I had to build the company. But the idea came from God. The idea came from the divine. And all the resources, one person meeting another person and this and that and this and everything falling together, that was all given by God. But I have to show up. So we have to show up for our blessings. So basically, I chose faith over fear on this day. And everything ended up working out perfectly. And I can't wait to tell you the full story. And I will, I promise, one day soon. Even when things are big and scary, you should do them anyways. That's my message for today. I hope you enjoyed my little rant. I know that a lot of you have told me that you like it better when I do these kind of ranty-like videos. So if that's still the case, please give this video a thumbs up so that I know that it is and I can keep making more like these. And leave a comment below to let me know how you let go and let God, in what way you are able to surrender today. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.